Entrepreneur Facebook training. Actually, now Entrepreneur training, not Facebook training, now Entrepreneur training. Again, welcome. If you're just getting in, give me a thumbs up if you can hear me, or go through and actually comment below. I want to make sure that you guys can hear me when you come in as well. And just go through and actually comment where you're from. Also, if you're catching this on the replay, make sure you put hashtag replay as well. I always like to go back and read the comments, kind of interact with everybody along the way. So again, this is Ferris. I hope you all had an amazing week. I've had an incredible week thus far, and I'm super excited about tonight's training. And as you all can see, I'm blocking it right now, but tonight's training is about the old you versus the new you. It's actually about going through and breaking that paradigm. I think so many times in business, we all get stuck on the old you. And I'm going to go through and go in detail about what the old you is and some of those habits that the old you has and that they try to bring towards our journey in business, and how we have to go through and actually stop that, how we have to go through and actually block that old you from rearing its head as well. So again, let me know where you're looking from. Make sure you comment below. Let me know you can hear me as well. And I'm going to go ahead and go forward with this lesson. And if you have any questions, make sure you drop them in the comment section, and I'll be sure to go through and interact with you all as well, either live or either after the live as well. If you have any suggestions for any type of shows that I'm doing, definitely just inbox me as well, and I'll definitely take that into consideration. So let's go through and talk about the old you versus new you. And I actually got this topic when I was actually reading a little bit. I was reading a book by Michael Gerber called the EMyth Accounting. And I know I'm not an accountant, but I like to go through and study different principles and practices so that I can better myself as an entrepreneur and as a business owner, especially as I build my enterprises. And I would encourage you as well to go through and actually step outside the norm and read other books that may be outside your comfort zone as well. But when I was reading this book, something really came to mind, and I thought about on my entrepreneurial journey, the things that I tried to go through and take along this journey, the things I tried to go through and actually include as an entrepreneur when I had the mindset of an employee that I tried to bring on to my entrepreneurial journey, and it just would not work. It would not work at all because it delayed the process. And let's go into detail. The first thing I wrote down was to be honest with yourself. Are you creating a business or owning a job? Let's go through and think about that. I have somebody call in. Let me go through and actually go through and delete that. But are you creating a business or are you creating a job? I think so many times people, they start off aspiring to create a business, but in all actuality, they're creating a job for themselves. And that job could be something where it's getting frustrating. They're working day in and day out to go through and create the business, but they find themselves stuck into the 9 to 5 or the 12-hour shifts within their business, and not having the time to really work on the business, but actually working in the business. And you have to be honest with yourself. And I thought about it as I transitioned from the military and came to the business world. I thought about it. Initially I was creating a job for myself because I was going through and trying to do everything. I was trying to go through and be all and do all so that I could go through and secure my spot, because I was taught as an entrepreneur, you own the job. Don't let no one go through and take your job. You're the boss. You're this and that. But as a business owner, especially when you're building an enterprise or a business, you have to realize that you're going to need people on your team. And you can't go through and try to hog all the glory and do everything. You can't be the web designer, the salesman, the marketer, the accountant, the operations person, the counselor. You can't be everything. You have to realize that when building a business, you're going to need people. You're going to need a team, regardless if you're a quote unquote solopreneur or if you're running a large enterprise. You're going to need people on your team, because what you're doing is you're creating a business and not a job. And the moment that you just say, I don't need anyone, you're creating a job, because guess what? If you get sick, if you get tired, if you get in an unforeseen accident, that's when your business ends. And you did not go into business just to go through and actually have it end by a blink of an eye or by a snap of a finger. You're creating a business so that it can live on and maybe pass down to your children or sold off or whatever your desire for your business is. So you have to go through and be honest with yourself. Are you creating a business or are you creating a job? So many professionals, your lawyers, your accountants, they have created a job for themselves where they're working 12, 14, 15 hours a day because that's what they went to school for. Doctors as well, they're in that category. They're creating a job for themselves instead of creating a business. And a business is based off of systems. And I'm going to go into further detail about that in a few as well. Businesses are based off of systems. So Anytime when I say building a business, just think substitute building a business to building systems. Substitute the word business to systems, because that's what business owners we should be building, are systems that could be predictable, that could be time tested as well. So as we go through and kind of expand our business, our system will go through and actually continue to work as well. So that's number one. Number two, determine the most effective way to do the job you're doing, then document that job. I think that's another thing. I know I was sitting down with a friend of mine about a few months ago, and she was saying as well, have you properly documented your job? And in every business, every step that you take should be documented, especially if you're trying to grow a business. If you're trying to keep a job for yourself, that's another thing. You just do everything on your own and you can change it whenever you want to. But if you're trying to create a business, and again, business equates to systems. If you're trying to create a system that's predictable, that will work even when you're not there, you have to go through and document it. What better way, especially as a growing business? I'm not saying just go through, start off hiring all these people. What better way as you're developing your business to go through and write out the different systems, write out the different processes. Take the time while you're small enough to write out the systems, write out the processes, so that other people will be able to take that plan and go along with it as well. Because if you don't have it documented, and that's one thing I'll raise my hand on in business, and I still struggle with it sometimes. Sometimes I have some good ideas, and I'm like, okay, let's do this, and my expectations are right here. But if it's not documented, others will not be able to follow that expectation. So you have to go through and document what you want. Document everything that you want done in your business. And I'm going to give you some different categories of where you can go through and document things. And actually, let me go through it right now. So what do you document? You document your business, your system. So when you document your system, document how you manage your services. So when I say manage your services, document how you're going to go through and buy supplies, how you're going to go through and buy equipment. You should have a documentation on how you're going to go through and do that, a process, a standard operating process or procedure. Document how you're going to compensate your people. You should have a standard chart on, okay, and adding up, of course, counting the cost, adding up to go through and see how much you're going to go through and actually compensate your people as well. Document people's time as well, because I think so many times we just expect people to go through and have that same passion that we have for our business. But sometimes you have to document that time, going through and giving a fixed time schedule. Between 8 and 12, we're going to be doing this. Between 12 and 1 is your lunch break. Between 1 and 3 is this. Next one. You have to go through and account for every last minute, second, or hour, so you can have individuals hold accountable. Because guess what? When you're gone, or when you're out there building your enterprise, you have to have a tool for people to manage the system that you put in place. And you can't just have it right here. You have to have it documented as well. The other thing you want to have documented is determining the direct cost of your services or your products, whatever you're selling or whatever. You should have a process on determining the direct cost on it, because one thing you don't want to do is just flop the cup and say, you know what, hey, I made this drink, or I wrote this book, or I'm selling this t-shirt, and hey, I think the t-shirt is worth $10. I think it's worth $20, when all the direct cost adds up to $19 and you're selling for $20, they're only making a $1 profit. You have to go through and document every last thing. You must have a process in place for it. Document how you're going to go through and increase your clients or your customers. Document the way that you're going to go through and actually attract or retain your customers. You have to go through and document those things. Document how your managers will manage the different section as well. This is your responsibility as the business owner to go through while you're working on the business. You should be looking at every little part and say, you know what? Hey, if I wasn't owning the business, I feel like, hey, this is one area that I can probably sneak around and just kind of curb this right here. Or, hey, this is one part right here where I feel like it's a true KPI or true key performance indicator, and I want to make sure I have this documented. You have to go through and determine that while you're small enough so that when you become that large enterprise, you can be able to go through and manage by the numbers, manage by the systems that you put in place as well. And last but not least, one thing that you have to have documentation on how you're going to collect your receivables. I think so many times in business, we go out there and we do a great job at selling the business, great job at going through and closing the business. But when it comes to receiving the income that you earn, a lot of times people don't have that procedure documented. And I know in business, we struggled with that for some time where we were growing. And especially in our private pay sector within my healthcare company. And then it came to a point where we realized that, oh my gosh, we got all this business, but our receivables were not being received in a timely manner because we were kind of living off the high hog on the other parts. We're like, we could get that when we get it. And that's how we lost a lot of actually income because we did not properly document our procedures to go through and collect those receivables as well. And it costs us a pretty penny. So instead of you going down the same track that we did, make sure you go through and document your process when you're going through and collecting your receivables and reimbursements as well. Number 3, once you documented the job, create a strategy for replacing yourself. So after you documented the job, now you documented it, it's tried, it's true, it went through the fire, you know that it works. Hey, you know that when you answer your calls, this is how you answer, this is how you document, this is how you go through and sell the product. Once you know that it's tried and true, you have to create a strategy for replacing yourself. And when replacing yourself, you can't just when I say replace, I don't mean go ghosting your business. I mean replacing yourself with someone who can go through and actually take that job, manage that job, and continue to go through and perform those duties while you focus on other parts of your business as well. So make sure you come up with a strategy. So you may be focusing on operations right now, and you know that you need to increase in sales. So what you're doing, you're focusing on operations, making sure that this is tried and true. So now when you find that person that you can put in that position, because you already developed the compensation, you already developed the management tools to go through and check it. Now you can go through and say, okay, well, hey, now I can focus on marketing because I have this in place. Now while I'm bringing in customers, I have a person that can go through and actually work with those customers as well. So you have to come up and develop a strategy to replace yourself. And also, I wrote down with someone else who will then use the documented system exactly as you do. So again, you will have the blueprint. You will have the blueprint for them to go through and use instead of them coming through, knocking on the door, texting you, calling you every day, all day to go through and, hey, how do you do this? Or what do you do at this? Or this situation came up. You took the time to document the process. And guys, this right here is no easy feat. It may take a year, may take 2 years, may take 3 months, 4 months, whatever it takes. Just be patient and persistent. Again, be patient and persistent throughout this process because what you're doing is building the foundations within your business. And as you build your foundations within your business, you'll build something that things can stand up on as well instead of just building a shaky foundation for you to come back and rebuild it and rebuild it and rebuild it and rebuild it. Because at this part, after you document the process and find that strategic person to go through and actually implement the process, you'll be able to go through and actually start working on other parts of your business as well. Let's go to number 4. Number 4 says have your new employees manage the newly delegated system and improve the system over time. So let's talk about that. I think so many times as entrepreneurs, we go through and own our business. We don't want anyone to touch the baby. It's my baby. Don't do anything. Hey, even if the baby has a booger on his nose, don't wipe it off. It's his booger. I put it there. You have to go through and find people that you can entrust to go through and actually manage your system, work your system, and they're going to go through and find ways to improve your system as well. And when they find ways to improve it, you should have a process in place so you can improve your processes. So my thing is, if they have a suggestion, listen to those suggestions. I think so many times as entrepreneurs, we think that, you know what, I have all the bright ideas. Hey, no one can tell me anything about my business because I built it from the ground up. Hey, I know this. But when you go through strategically find someone, you bring those bright minds in, rest assured that they're going to find places in the system that we can improve upon. So you have to go through and listen to those individuals to make sure that you can go through and improve your processes, because that's when you're building a business. Because again, business equates to systems, and those systems in place by bringing smart people in to help you improve your systems. Because if you're not improving your system, you're going out of business as well. Let's go ahead and go to number 5. Number 5 says repeat this process throughout your business whenever you catch yourself acting like an employee rather than an owner. I think so many times, and I struggle with this. I know my team would tell me all the time, Ferris, we have this. Get your hand out the cookie jar per se, because sometimes when I see different things that I feel like should be going a little bit better, I want to get in there, I want to jump in, I want to go through and actually do it. When in all actuality, that means I have a hole in my system and I need to go through and develop a system so that individuals can go through and actually implement the system instead of having a Band-Aid put on it. And that's one thing as business owners, even though we're going to get enticed to go through and actually do, when you're building an enterprise, building a system, building a business, you're going to have to go through and stop thinking like an employee and put that owner's hat on. Yes, it's fun when Truett Cathy came down and served the chicken sandwich at Chick-fil-A, but guess what? He didn't have to do it because he had a system in place for individuals that could do that when he's long gone. So my thing is, he wasn't sitting there worried about, oh my God, are the fries burning? It's a system in place. Because when you press that button and those 2.5, 3 minutes go off, the fries come up. It was a system that he put in place because he was working on the business. Ask yourself tonight, are you working on your business? Or when was the last time have you worked on your business? Or are you working day in and day out, giving that sweat equity, going through and working in your business? And though you may feel accomplished, though it may be rewarding, but you have to go through your commitment, your honesty to yourself is that, hey, I am building a business. And a business creates systems. The business actually revolves around systems. And if my business is to succeed, I have to continue to have that business hat on. I have to have that owner's hat on so I can work on the business instead of in the business. Because the moment that you work in the business, you'll be out of business in a short time as well. Last but not least, number 6 is learn to distinguish between ownership work and employee work every step of the way. Again, you have to go through and distinguish between those two things. Ownership work is going out there networking, building relationships that can yield dividends. Employee work is going through and doing more operational day in, day out. They're more boots on the ground trying to get the work done. They're the ones that's going to go through and fulfill the orders that you bring in. Ownership work is thinking about the vision. Ownership work is inspiring individuals, encouraging individuals, putting your employees in a predicament to win. That's what ownership work is. Employee work is going through and actually following the leader, but also being that servant leader, meaning they're going to go through and also lead as well as provide services for your business as well. But my thing is, as the business owner, it's your responsibility to go through and cast the vision. It's your responsibility to go through and keep those employees inspired. It's your responsibility to manage or have systems that can manage the business. Because if you don't go through and create the systems, if you don't go through and inspire the individuals, who will? Who will? And that's one thing that I wanted to go through and talk about on tonight, because that's one thing is that's the new you. The new you is a person that goes through and think, you know what, hey, though yes, I can do this, guess what? I don't have to do this because I have systems in place, and I'm going to manage my systems to make sure that things get in. That's what the new you think. The new you thinks that, okay, well, hey, I see where we're going in the future, and I see that I need to start developing my next level leaders so that I can go through and continue to expand the enterprise, so that I can create opportunities, so I can shatter the glass ceilings within my business, so I can give opportunity to grow within my business. Because who wants to work with an organization where they feel like, you know what, there's no opportunity to grow? No one does. No one wants to work with an organization that sees a glass ceiling. So you, as the new you, have to go through and think, okay, well, hey, more fine-tuned, more strategic. You have to go through and think, okay, well, hey, if this business is doing this and they're doing well, and that business is doing this, they're doing well, let me see if I can adopt some of those practices within my business so that I can go through and actually ensure that I'm on the same track. The new you goes through and studies. The new you goes through and read. The new you goes to conferences. The new you invest in themselves. The new you goes through and listen to podcasts or interviews or vlogs just like this. The new you is something different. The new you is not the old you. The old you would go in and work yourself tirelessly. The old you would go through and say, guess what? Hey, I am this, I am this, I am my business. But the new you says, you know what? I am building systems that will go through and actually be tried and true. I'm creating turnkey systems where, regardless if I'm here or over here or in another state over, the same process, the same procedure, the same product will be produced as well. And that's what the new you is actually going towards as well. So let's go through and actually continue to go through and actually talk about this, and drop any questions below as well. The new you is somebody different. The new you, I'm gonna bring this to the close. The new you is somebody different. The new you does not accept failure. The new you does not accept it. The new you pretty much, when I say this, I'm gonna sum this up. The new you is a mastery of you. The new you sees where you are in the future, and they're trying to catch up to where you are as well while building it as well. So you have to go through and accept that, hey, no longer can I go through and have that same mindset. No longer can I have that old mindset of saying, you know what, hey, it is what it is. I'll just go through and wing it. No, the new year says winging it will not happen. New year says winging it is 2019, 2020. I can't wing it anymore. Everything is strategic. Everything is planned. Everything is documented. Every encounter that I have is actually intentional. And that's what the new you actually is going to bring out as well. Guys, I really hope tonight that you all took something from this lesson. I hope that you all took that, okay, instead of going through and focusing on the way that you used to think, when your mama, your pops, or your friends say, you know what, man, you own your business. Hey, you own your grass cutting business. Go out there and cut that grass. I hope the new you thinks that, you know what, hey, I have an enterprise. Let me create systems. Let me go through and create a system So now that instead of cutting one lawn at a time, I can have trucks going out and cutting 10 lawns or landscaping 10 different businesses at one time and bringing in revenue. I hope the new you sees more expansion. I hope the new you sees more consistency. I hope the new you see a better position for yourself instead of just seeing yourself actually work by the sweat of your brow. And I don't believe that. I believe hard work and determination is one part, but I think the new you sees more strategy. And that's one thing that I want you to get on tonight as well. I'm going to take a few moments to go through and actually, if you can drop any questions that you may have as well, I would love to go through and answer them as well. And then if not, if I don't answer them right here on camera, I will go through and come back and answer them in the comment section as well. So, and I think that's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to answer them in the comment section. I really appreciate you all. I'm trying to keep this down to about 20 minutes so I don't go through and keep you all too long. I really appreciate you all coming in every Tuesday to spend a little time with me. And actually, as I share different business tips and practices that has benefited me and those storms that I went through as well and how I came through them as well. So I appreciate you all so much. I hope you all have a wonderful week. Come back, rewatch this video, share it with a friend, tag a friend, invite people into the Now Entrepreneur. And I'll see you guys next Tuesday. And don't forget, Ask Ferris every Thursday at 9 o'clock. All right, I'll see you guys soon. Take care.